Hello, tanse everyone. Oki, bonjour, hello. Welcome to another fabulous Tuesday teachings. Last week I was at my girl's incredible concert, which was really awesome. It was good to see her really, taking up the saxophone and kicking butt and taking names, which was wonderful. And it was just really lovely to actually spend some time with family, which I'm looking forward to over the next couple weeks. Usually I'm here all the time, so I don't really go anywhere. But still, I just wanted to say hello to everyone and happy solstice. Solstice is tomorrow officially. Unofficially, it's the 23rd, but officially, it's that shortest day of the year, which I'm going to share a little bit of teachings and a story, and just a little bit things kind of around what we can do to kind of prepare for the solstice and to feel good about the year ahead. And so just to welcome everybody in before we start, I always think it's really important just to acknowledge the land upon which we stand, because again, if you don't know where you are, you don't know where you're going. And it's so important to really honor the steps that we're standing in, to really honor the people who have been here before us, the people who will continue to thrive here long after we're gone, our ancestors, our future generations. And so to welcome everyone in, I just wanted to acknowledge where I am, which is in Mohkinstsis Treaty 7 territory. And so I honor the Blackfoot or the Niitsitapi of Siksika, Kaina, and Pagani. I honor the Sarsi Dene of Tsutsuna and the Stoney Nakoda of Morley, which includes Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. We're also walking in the footsteps of Métis Region 3, which is why I usually wear my Métis sash, but I'm not wearing it today. It was very, very cold, and I just totally spaced. But I usually wear it as that bridge between Indigenous and non-Indigenous culture, and it's such a gift to be able to wear that and to be able to honor it, and to be able to really have that as such a integral part of our history and our tradition. I also just wanted to acknowledge, we're walking in a good way for all of these people, for all of our ancestors. And so I'm really thankful and humbled for all of the people who've come, to bring us together to really honor each other. And even though I'm from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation, I'm from Treaty 6 territory, I make my home here in Mohkinstsis, and so I'm really thankful for it. So, oh hello! Long time no see, Laura. But yeah, just to welcome everyone in a good way, I wanted to welcome you with the Cree Welcome Song. Traditionally, when we sing songs, we sing in rounds of 4, to honor the 4 directions of the medicine wheel. But this song, we sing in rounds of 3 to keep the circle open and welcoming so everyone completes the circle today. I always love to sing it, just because it does welcome all of our ancestors. And I find with that 3, with the 3 rounds, people can come and go as they need to, and they usually do. What I find really incredible about circles is sometimes after I sing this song, when one person leaves, another person comes in right away. And it's really interesting that that kind of always happens. But also when I'm singing the Cree Welcome Song, if some people are late, usually they show up right in the middle of it, which is really funny. It's one of those really interesting things. But miyasin means, it does mean welcome. It's our way to really draw everybody together in that circle, to recognize that, we're all equal. We have different things that we get to share with each other and learn from each other, different things that we offer community to help it thrive, different things that, we have of those experiences, that wealth of knowledge that we can share with each other. It teaches us don't come into the circle with judgment, because judgment doesn't really help anybody. Don't compare yourself to someone else, because we're on completely different paths, so it doesn't make any sense to give each other directions if we're not on that same path. But also it teaches us to really honor each other for the family that we are. In Cree, we always say all my relations, because we're all related in that circle. We're all related. And it teaches us also, we might not agree 100% of the time, but it's those moments that we can come together and find those compromises. That's what makes our community resilient. And so miyasin is from the Natahau family from Sturgeon Lake Cree Nation, and I'm so thankful and humbled that that family has shared it in such a beautiful way. And I'm so thankful that I can share it today. And so miyasin, again, doesn't just mean welcome, although it does welcome in all of our ancestors. So I always love to bring in my ancestors before I start anything, and it doesn't. And it also means beautiful. So please forgive me. We're moving furniture and things like that around the house, so I've got a big stack of stuff. Miasen, miasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, niwagomagan, hota, homa, Kitaskino Miasen, miasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, niwagomagan, hota, homa, kitaskino, miasen, miasen, hasemina, hasemina, epetakote, niwagomagan, hota, homa, kitaskino. Hi, and welcome to the circle, everybody. So I'm very excited to be able to share some teachings with you today, specifically around the medicine wheel, but also the solstice, which is going to be amazing. So I wanted to smudge today just because it's been a while since I've smudged online. I had the privilege of smudging with a bunch of schools this week, and so it's just always a gift when you can share kind of that knowledge, but also they can kind of hear what the medicines are all about and the science behind them, because it's always the science that they're like, oh, I guess it's legit. So, yeah, I'm going to talk very briefly about my medicines, and oops. So in Cree, we always follow the sun, and I can only share what I know. Many different nations will have different medicines in the different areas and have different teachings behind those areas. But again, it's not right or wrong. It's just different depending on what works for you. Just find your truth. Learn from many different elders and knowledge keepers and, traditional medicine holders, because you never know what's going to resonate with you. And so I can only share a small piece of knowledge. But go out and pursue more. There's so much out there, and then you'll never know what really is going to make sense with your experience and resonate with you. And so, excuse me. That being said, it has been a long while. So, in the West, we're gonna, in the East. In the East, we're gonna start with sweetgrass. Sweetgrass, of course, being that men's medicine is connected to grandfather sun. It's connected to our mind. It's connected to our childhood. It's connected to fire, because grandfather sun is a big ball of fire. And sweetgrass, it smells amazing. I just always love the smell of sweetgrass. And it really teaches us about honoring our mind. It has those 7 teachings, those 7 generations behind and those 7 generations forward in it, because there are 7 strands in every section. But it's really just about, honoring our mind, honoring our childhood, remembering to stay curious, remembering to always learn, remembering to heal our mind, because we always need to heal our mind, not taking on too much responsibility to honor our anxiety as a response to being able to calm down. Maybe take some more stuff off of our plate, and not stress about things that we can't change. Okay, we're good. And so that is in the East. And then we're going to go to the South, and in the South we have the cedar, and the cedar, this is a lovely cedar. It's amazing. So cedar is that connection to our physical being, to our physical body. It reminds us about the relationship that we have with the earth. It reminds us to breathe deeply, because that's a deep relationship that we have with the earth, and to not be afraid of that relationship, but to really honor it and to gift back to the earth. Every time we take something, always gift something back. Just like when we breathe, that's a natural give and take, but also to honor our adolescence, our teenage years, because that's when we have to learn about ourselves and the path that we need to, uncover for ourselves. And so that is cedar. You're getting a lot of cedar tea, just because when it gets cold like this, my asthma gets really bad, and so I've been breathing in some. Yeah, cold and my asthma is not a happy combination, and so yes, asthma and cedar, very good combination actually. So I've been boiling it, breathing it in, boiling it, drinking it in tea with lots of honey, because it does taste terrible, but it definitely helps your body with that antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, antihistamines, and then those numbing agents for the soothing of the throat. So it's definitely been saving me the last couple of weeks. All right, the next medicine now is the sage. Sage being the women's medicine, it's connected to Grandmother Moon. Grandmother Moon is connected to water, and water is connected to our emotions, because our emotions are liquid. This is why we leak from our face, so we cry when we get upset. But it teaches us to honor our tears, just like we need to honor Grandmother Moon. We have to honor, our mothers and our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers. But the water is that lifeblood that connects each and every one of us. And so sage helps us to, remember that and respect that and honor that. And so I'm going to take a little piece. I already have a little pre-prepped stuff, but I'm just going to put this down here, take a little bit from here, and that's what we're going to be smudging with today. And I already have some over here. Woohoo! There we go. Awesome. And then the last medicine up in the north is tobacco, which is connected to spirit. It is a symbolic medicine, so we don't take it into our body, even though we do call it a medicine. And it really teaches us to connect to the air, that sacred breath that we all share, but also spirit, which we can't see. We can't see spirit, but we know it exists because we exist, and just we can't see the air, but we breathe, so we know it exists. This is the time when tobacco is essential, because this is the winter solstice. We're getting close to that renewal, and this is the time where we lay tobacco down for Grandfather Sun as he comes back, for those potential plants and animals as they're, coming back. The light is coming back, which means their life is coming back. And so it's really about honoring this time in a good way. And tobacco is that medicine for that, to honor our ancestors, and to honor, each other in a good way. And that silence and that stillness, but we'll talk about that in a bit. And I'm going to I have some sweetgrass that was all over my desk, so I'm going to actually use it today, because I think it was the universe's way of saying, you need some sweetgrass. Hopefully it'll wake me up a little bit. I had a really hard time sleeping last night. Well, like I always do, but still. Awesome. And sweetgrass is really good for anxiety. It's really good for your brain. It is also really good for sleeping. So whenever I have really bad insomnia, a little bit of sweetgrass and tea, and that actually fixes me quite a bit. I'm actually able to sleep a little bit. So I'll probably do that tonight. Amazing. And so I'm going to be putting that in my smudge bowl, my old smudge bowl. I'm going to be using it until the bottom falls out, and then I have a new smudge bowl to replace it. But there we go. Which I think is getting pretty close. Usually it happens every year around this time. So it lasts me solstice to solstice. And so I'm going to go ahead and light that. I always use a lighter, never matches, because matches disrespect the relationship that we have with that medicine. Oops. And I always fan it with my hand. I never blow on it, because your breath is your life, and your life is precious, and you don't waste that for anybody. Or anything, really. Perfect. First thing I like to do is just wash my hands, so anything I'm carrying I get rid of. I bring it over my body. 1, 2, 3, 4 times down to the 4 directions in my body. Oops. I smudge my mind so I can think clearly and learn from every person that crosses my path. I'm going to move this over here a little bit so I can face the screen. Oh no, you can't see it at all. I've adjusted my screen. I need to fix that now. Smudge my mind so I can remain open-minded and never rigid with my thinking, so I can find solutions and heal my mind. Smudge my ears so I can be open to hear all of the messages that are sent to me, so I can hear people fully and completely and listen twice as much as I speak. This is why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, to hear good things. I smudge my eyes so we can see clearly all of the beauty that surrounds us, so we can give thanks for our vision to see the unseen, and also to see people fully and completely for who they are and the beauty in the world. Smudge my nose so I smell danger, nature, and cookies. Smudge my mouth so I speak only true and kind words that are helpful and benefit mankind. I smudge my throat because I'm very thankful for my voice this lifetime, so I can continue to give voice to the voiceless. And to honor my own voice. Smudge my lungs to honor the sacred breath that we all share. To give thanks for our spirit breath. And to give thanks for those plants that we share that breath with, and the animals, and our ancestors. Smudge my heart so I remain kind and compassionate and show unconditional love to all those around me, to my family, to my friends, to myself, and to all our relations, as everything and everyone around us. Smudge my stomach so all of the food that I eat this day will nourish my body, and to pray for abundance for those who do not have food around the world. Smudge my belly button to give thanks for my spirit, so I remain connected and tethered to my spirit in a good way, and so I can listen to it fully and completely. That's where we're connected before we come into this world, so that's where our spirit speaks through us and to us. That's where our intuition speaks through us and to us. This is why it's our gut instinct, and it is never ever wrong. Smudge my womanhood. I'm very thankful to be a woman and a mother in this time, but also to be a two-spirit person and to be able to carry that teaching of both that male and female energy into spirit and to ceremony and on my path. Smudge my shoulders and my back so I can carry all of those responsibilities that I have within my life with grace and humility and with strength. I smudge my arms and my hands so I can do the good work that creators put me here to do. I smudge my legs so I walk this red road in a good way. That's the path of Aboriginal spirituality. Also so that I may carry myself with gentleness upon this earth, but also with strength. I smudge my feet so I stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth, treading lightly upon her and honoring her with every step. And then if there's anywhere else in your life, or in your body, you need a little extra love, or in your life, just smudge those areas. I'll just smudge my back a little bit extra. And then if there's someone in your life that you want to send that love and that appreciation to and that healing to, you can just hold them in your heart and in your thoughts. Bring that smoke to your heart, send them that love, that healing, that appreciation, and that gentleness. Now, it doesn't just have to be a person, it can be a pet too. And then when you're all done, you can just say thank you in your language, which is hi, or magwitch, or merci, or gracias, shia, donkashin, however you would like to say it. make sure that this continues to burn. There we go. Smells very good. And so, I'm going to talk a little bit about the solstice before I share some songs, but now is kind of that time when we've been losing a lot more light. It's getting darker and darker and darker and darker, but tomorrow is the official darkest day of the year. So it's when we have the shortest day and the longest night. And in that time, it's a time to reflect. It's a time to think about the year that we've had. It's a time to really stop for a moment, review. This is why about this time of year, everybody's putting out their like top 22 lists and things like that for what's happened in the past year, whether that be in arts and entertainment or sports. So this is kind of that time where everybody kind of does a recap, but kind of like this gives us an opportunity to just kind of recap our life, our last year, and those can be amazing things that have happened or challenging things that we've kind of gone through, but it teaches us to really put everything into perspective. And I think at the time when we're going through things, whether they be really excruciating, to take a step back and say, look what we've gone through, look at the strength that we have, look at the perseverance that we have. This gives us an opportunity to just look at the whole year as one solid thing, with all of these beautiful moments of learning, of struggle, of strength, of healing, of joy, of opportunity, but not focusing on the negative, but specifically focusing on the positive and the things that we have learned. And then as the pendulum starts to swing in the other directions, we have that longest day, and then we start to come back into the light. It's about setting those goals for the year ahead. Maybe it's only for the next 6 months, maybe it's for only the next 3 months, maybe it's only for the next 2 weeks. I know that I've set goals for the next 2 weeks for myself. I guess that's going to be the only time off I have in a while, but it's really about setting those things and acknowledging the things that you'd like to do. You might not get to all of them, so make them really bite-sized, manageable tasks. So if it's something like, I'm going to learn a language by the end of the year, make sure that it's, instead of saying this big, huge, overreaching topic, you make it more handleable, like, I'm going to do Duolingo for 5 minutes a day, and then who knows what happens after that, because you might really get into it and then do it for 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day, and who knows, by the end of the year you might learn a language. But it can also be something very simple, like, I want to be more joyful this year, or I want to let people in my life who are meaningful and bring joy into my life. Or it could be something like, I want to just be tidier around my house, or I want to eat better. So it could be something big or something small, but don't overwhelm yourself with, I'm going to lose 50 pounds by next year, because when you're not on track to that, you get overwhelmed and you give up. That's very much like New Year's resolutions, but it's more about betterment of self, not just physical being. It's more than that. And it's because in the winter we have that opportunity for stillness, that opportunity for reflection, that opportunity to kind of go inside and see what we need to be able to come out in the springtime as fully recognized and realized beings. And that really is along the teachings of the bear. The bear, oh hey Auntie Donna, the bear has that hibernation through the winter. He's that reminder, we need that time to just decompress. We need that time to reassess. We need that time to put everything into perspective. And that silence does it. Even though it seems like there's not much life happening in the winter, it's because our lives are resting in the winter. All of those plants underneath the snow, they're resting this winter, and it teaches us that they will be back. There's hope there, there's life there, and it is coming back. But you need that time to rest for yourself. You need that time to renew and replenish your spirit, and the winter is the perfect time to do that, because honestly, right now in Alberta, it's really cold. Nobody wants to go outside. Just hibernate like the bear. The bear's got it going on. He's smart. But so I'm going to share a story that I learned from, I think it was from a book actually, but it was just a really lovely story, and I remember hearing a couple different elders tell it in different ways, so I'm hoping I do it justice. But it's the story of the bear, and when Creator was handing out gifts to a lot of the animals, the Gizi, the eagle, got love because he soared close to Creator and would bring Creator's love to the earth within his feathers. Of course, respect went to the buffalo, because the buffalo teaches us how to honor and respect the earth. And all of the animals, as they were getting all of this, the beaver was getting wisdom, because the beaver is so clever. The beaver is very good at building things, but also sees that you don't take everything all at once. You don't back up the river all at once. There's always time and space for everything. It's about letting things flow. Even if you are backing it up just a little bit, there's still flow there. And so all of these animals were getting these beautiful gifts. And the bear came up and he said, "Oh, Creator, I would love a gift. I would love a gift to share with the two-leggeds." And so Creator opened up the beautiful moose bag and gifted courage to the bear. And the bear took it and looked at it and said, "Courage, what is this for? What am I supposed to do with this, Creator? Please tell me how to use it." And Creator said, "Well, courage isn't just fighting. It's standing up for what's right. It's standing up for the things that matter. But also courage is the ability to see when you need to be helpful, when you need to be yourself, and when you need to offer your gifts. That takes a lot of courage, is to step up and ask someone if they need help, or to offer help to people." And so the bear thought about it and said, "Okay, courage means helping. Courage means helping. All right, I'm going to go help all of our community, all of our neighbors, all of our, beautiful creatures." And so off the bear went. And the first creature he saw struggling, of course, was the beaver. And the beaver was trying to haul this huge log, bigger log than she had ever seen, the bear had ever seen her move before. And she was really struggling. And the bear said, "Oh, Beaver, I'm quite large, I'm quite strong. Please let me help you. Please let me share this gift that Creator's given me of courage." And well, the beaver was very glad for the help and said, of course, Bear, please do help me." And so the bear very easily pushed the log into the river. And the beaver was so thankful and said, "Oh, thank you so much, Bear. I really appreciate it." And the bear said, "You're welcome," and continued on his path. Then the bear saw the mole struggling to get through this dirt that was so packed and so hard, and her little claws were having the hardest time digging through them. And well, the bear saw her struggling, and he looked at his own claws, which were so big and so huge and so strong, and he knew he could probably get through easier. And he said, "Mole, my paws and my claws are very, very strong. Can I please help you?" And the mole said, "Yes, please, Bear, that would be wonderful." And so very easily the bear dug through that dirt. And the mole was so thankful. "Oh, Bear, thank you so much. I would have been digging forever. My paws were already so sore. I really appreciate it." And the bear said, "You're welcome," and continued on his path. Then the bear heard a struggling sound, just a squeaking, struggling sound. And then he saw the poor little squirrel trying to pull all of these nuts up into a tree by itself. But there were so many. There was no way that it could carry all of them, no matter how many times it tried to just put them all in its mouth and carry them all at the same time. There was just so many. And the bear said, "What are you doing, squirrel?" And the squirrel said, "I need to get all of these nuts in my tree because it's starting to get colder and things are starting to shift, and so I need to be prepared." And the bear said, "Well, may I help you?" And the squirrel said, "That would be amazing, Bear. Thank you so much." And so the bear gathered up all of the nuts and held them in his paws. And then the squirrel ran up onto the bear's shoulder, and the bear lifted all of those nuts and poured them into the tree. Then the squirrel skittered off and into the tree and said, "Wow, thank you, Bear. That was so much easier. I really appreciate the help, and I didn't even lose a nut in the process." And the bear said, "You're very welcome," and continued on his path. Now the bear was helping everyone he saw in distress. And then, as everyone was getting helped and realized that their jobs were so much easier when the big, beautiful bear was helping, well, soon everyone started to ask for more help, and then more help, and then more help. Even when they didn't really need help and they were just starting to feel a little bit lazy, they continued to ask for help. But the more the bear helped, the more exhausted the bear started to get. Until as the wind started to shift and as the leaves started to turn, the bear got a chill, and he was getting really exhausted. And so he thought, maybe if I have a snack, I'll feel a little bit better. And so he started to eat. He started to eat. started to eat and eat and eat. And he was just eating and eating and eating, and he just didn't even know what he was eating. He was just eating everything he could find until he was so full, more full than he'd ever been in his life. And he was so tired. Maybe he could just have a little nap. And so he slowly made his very full way over to the beautiful den that he had for himself. He lay down inside and fell fast asleep. So quickly did he fall asleep, and so deep was his sleep, that even though his friends were calling for help, "Hey bear, we need help! Hey bear, can you help me with this? Bear, over here, we need a little hand!" But no one could seem to find Bear. They called into his den, "Bear, are you in there? Bear, we need some help, are you in there?" And they couldn't hear anything. And as some of them went into the den, they realized the bear was in there, but he was sleeping. Well, they started to worry because it had been days of not seeing him, and that meant he'd been sleeping for days. And so the beaver started to shake him. "Bear, bear, wake up, bear." But he wouldn't wake up. Then she shook him again. "Bear, wake up!" But he would not wake up. All of the animals started to worry. They started making all sorts of noise, but the bear would not wake up. And the squirrel was worried. She put her ear to his heart, and it was so slow. They'd never heard the bear's heart beat so slowly before. The little mouse was worried too, climbed right under his nose, and felt the breath on her back. But the breath was so slow and so deep, she began to worry. And she thought, "I think the bear's sick." And all of the animals said, "We think the bear's sick. Maybe the bear is dying." And they started to get really upset. They knew they had to just leave the bear because they had no medicine for him, because the bear was a wonderful keeper of medicines and only knew what he wanted for him and what he needed for himself. And so all of the worried animals left the bear den. And throughout the winter, they kept leaving more and more offerings of snacks and nuts and different things that they had found under the snow or that they had stored for the winter. Every day they left him something different. And then the nights became longer and longer and longer, and the winter became colder and colder and colder, until the solstice, when everything started to shift back. There was more and more and more light, and as the light became brighter and brighter and brighter throughout the days, longer and longer throughout the days, the sun, grandfather sun, started warming the earth, and as he did, there was a crackling sound, a beautiful crackling sound of all of the ice crackling under the river. And as that crackling sound woke up all of the beautiful seeds that were sleeping underneath the snow, they began to sprout. First was the crocus, the most beautiful sign of spring. And then all of the beautiful plants started growing around her. All of the berry bushes started to grow and started to plump up on the vine. And the bear could hear that crackling sound. It felt like it was crackling in the back of his jaw, in the back of his nose, and the back of his ears, and it woke him up. And then, when he awoke, he smelled the air, and it smelled so fresh and delicious. And so he started to come out of his den, a little sleepy and groggy. And he looked, and there was all of these beautiful offerings from his friends. Dried fruit and different kinds of meat, and wow! And so he started to eat. He was so hungry. How long did he sleep for? And then he started to walk around and smell the air again. It smelled so fresh, like the springtime. And as the bear looked around, it was the springtime. How long had he slept for? And he said, "Friends, how long did I sleep?" And his friends turned around and said, "Bear, you're alive! You're alive!" They were so happy, and they said, "Oh, Bear, we're so happy you were alive. We were sure that you were dead." He said, "Oh, I just needed a nap, but I'm good now. How can I help, my friends?" And all of his friends said, "Oh, Bear, we are so sorry. We're so sorry we took advantage of you. We're so sorry we used you more and more, even though we knew we were perfectly capable of getting the job done. Now we're only going to ask you for help when we absolutely need it." And the bear said, "It's okay, friends. I love to help, but I think when the leaves start to change, I might just have a really big meal and enjoy a really long winter's nap." And so from that moment forward, every time the leaves changed, the bear would start to get a little tired and really hungry and stock up in his belly for winter and sleep all through the winter. And that became a regular ritual of hibernation. And so in the winter, we offer offerings to the beautiful bear so she'll come back, or he'll come back, but also we offer it to Grandfather Sun. So Grandfather Sun comes back to the earth and always feels welcome. There are teachings about Grandfather Sun going to visit our relatives over on the other side when he's gone for so long. And some of those relatives will come back with him. And so we leave out beautiful feasts, just like the animals were leaving out feasts for the beautiful bear. And so we personally, I know that I like to cook for my family. It was one of the most beautiful things that I love to do. It shows my love. That's one of my love languages, food. So, but we are going to be having a regular tradition of beans, corn, and squash to welcome in the three sisters and welcome them back to our table and to the earth. We also are going to have salmon to offer it to the water people and the water spirit, so that when the river starts to flow again, it flows full of life and full of joy. We also bring in the berries, which is the women's medicine, so that we have that sweetness and the gifts that life has to offer at our table. And then of course turkey, because who doesn't love turkey? And so I'm really, really thankful and humbled for those teachings. And so what I offer to you is a way to just reflect, a way to bring people together, a way to stay warm and create family and friendships wherever you can, so that you can get through these colder winter months by recognizing and helping each other in a good way. And so I'm going to share the bear song to honor that bear story and the bear spirit. Whoops, hey, my hand cream, sweet. Sorry, I was looking for that all day at school today, and I couldn't find it. But apparently it decided to go into my drum while I needed it the least. So, the Anishinaabe Bear Song, it is really honoring the bear. And the bear has so many teachings for us. It has so many stories. We have, of course, that one story that I just shared. The story of the constellation, the Big and Little Dipper, and how we have that great bear go into the sky, which also is another story about hibernation. But to me, the bear really is just that epitome of all of the things that we need to learn, because the bear teaches us about balance. It only takes what it needs from the earth. It always gives stuff back. It also teaches us about keeping things in balance. And so if there's a problem, the bear will attack those things head on, literally. Out west with the pine beetles, the bears are chewing and clawing and ripping pods of pine beetles off the trees, trying to protect the trees, and telling us the beetles are a problem. Out in Banff National Park about 15 years ago, where we had those hungry wolves that were just dropped off in the middle of Banff National Park for our lovely American friends, when the wolves started causing extreme devastation by taking literal bites out of the deer, elk, moose, and other populations of game animals, they started to eat the wolves to protect those other animals for the seasons to come, and also to sustain themselves. And so they remind us that sometimes, even if a mess isn't ours, we still clean it up, because that's what the community needs. And that's really what the bear does. The bear knows that it might not be its responsibility to deal with certain things, but it does anyway, because that's what our community needs, and we need to remember that initiative that the bear takes. And so this is the Anishinaabe Bear Song, which also teaches us about timing, because the bear not only does it know when to go to sleep, but it knows when to wake up. I always watch the bear in the springtime to know how the winter is going to be. Last year, the bear was not very fat. This year, the bear was plumper than I've seen him in a really long time. So, cold winter, kids. It's going to be great. No, it's not. And so this is the Anishinaabe Bear Song. So, thank you so much, Laura. I'm going to have a quick sip of water. But, so this time of year is really about letting those things go. So it's a new year, literally. Not only from the Gregorian calendar standpoint, which is coming up on 31st of December / 1st of January. When the sun goes away and then starts to come back, it's like a whole new lunar cycle. So it's a new year in that way too. So you start by getting rid of everything and then asking for the things that you need, or inviting in the things that you need. So it's really about a time of release and like burying it under the snow and helping it to transform into something else. And so it's really about healing those wounds as well. So it's our time to really regroup, ask for the healing that we need so that we can move forward in a good way. And so I wanted to share the healing song, which is also called the crying song or the wailing song. But it's really about letting those things go. It's asking for the healing that we need for ourselves, for those things around us, for the people in our lives. And that can be all sorts of healing. That's our physical healing. That's our mental healing, our emotional healing, our spiritual healing. Our mental healing, of course, but it's really all of those things that we need to function. It reminds us that we need to heal the whole being, not just bits and pieces of it, like our Western medicine kind of tries to do, but it's the whole version, because everything affects everything else. And so it's the reminder about balance. When we sing this song, we sing it in rounds of 4. One of those 4 directions of the medicine wheel, the 4 parts of our being, our mind, our physical body, our heart, and then our spirit. That kind of rules the whole thing, or runs the whole thing. It also teaches us about honoring those elements, fire, earth, air, water. All of those things come together to create our world, to create ourselves, to create true healing in a good way. And so the healing song honors that. In the healing song, we actually stop drumming for the 3rd round. That's the healing round. And so in that silence, we invite you to ask for the things that you need in your life, ask for the healing and prayers that you need in your life, and let go of the things you don't. But also pray for those people in your life. Set those intentions of healing and a love and release for those people as well, or pets, if you have pets, because I know I pray for my pets, or I pray for other people's pets all the times, because they're our babies. They're an extension of us. They're our baby children. They're furry children. And then once that drum beat kicks in, you're just letting all of that, all of those asks, all of that healing. We're leaving it out to the universe. We're giving it the opportunity to kind of disperse it as it need to. And so, yeah, this is the Cree healing song, also called the crying song or the wailing song. So if you feel those tears coming, let them come. Don't hold tears back, because they are part of you. They remind us that our tears are essential. That's how we connect to each other. That's how we heal. So this is the Cree healing song, also called the crying song or the wailing song. And I've learned it from several different elders. And I'm just thankful for all of the different versions that have come to me. Yeah, this is the Cree healing song. keeping in my mind is Wendeaho. My mom mentioned it in the car today, and then it just got stuck in my head all day. And so Wendeaho teaches us about about the Four Winds. I knew it as the Four Winds song. It's also called the Cherokee Morning Song, but it's really about honoring those directions and honoring the way that, you know, the cycle continues on and on and on for billions of years, and it will continue on long after we're gone. But it's really about honoring those four winds, about honoring those four directions, about honoring those four seasons, and about that journey that it takes us on every year. And so Wendeaho was from Ulali and Robbie Robertson, who shared it, and I'm just really thankful. There are so many amazing Indigenous artists out there that we really just need to thank for sharing their art, sharing their cultures, sharing their teachings, sharing their incredible knowledge and wisdom, their incredible just spirit with us, and that spirit of their ancestors. And I'm just really humbled to be in a time where we can listen to so many incredible artists. Like Spotify, I listen to Indigenous artists all the time. A little too often, I think, but it's amazing because we have so many gifted artists. And I'm just really thankful that we're in a time where we can share these things because they are so healthy for everyone, Indigenous and non-Indigenous. We can really learn, we can all learn from these teachings as it connects us to Mother Earth and it connects us to the core of our being, and that healing that we all need so desperately, that reconnection to our own ancestors. I find that a lot of people come to my workshops that do not have, you know, traditional Indigenous knowledge or Indigenous ancestry from this continent, but they do from other continents, and it's almost like learning firsthand about drums and that connection to the earth gives them that opportunity to go and retrace their own roots, retrace their own ancestry, and find that path home. And I'm really thankful for that. And so this is Wendeaho. May your wind blow you in the direction that you need to go. But just don't go outside in this wind because it's brutal right now. Wind chill minus 43. I'm like, no thank you. Wendeaho, Wendeaho, Wendea, Wendea, oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Wendeaho, Wendeaho, Wendea, Wendea, oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Wendeaho, Wendeaho, Wendea, Wendea, oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Wendeaho, Wendeaho, Wendea, Wendea, oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Wendeaho, Wendeaho, Wendea, Wendea, oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo. So the next one that I'd like to share, if I can remember it. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. But I'm going to share the Sakith one that I wrote. So it's called Journey, and it is to our family or our friends. It's to our journey, and so it's really about the journey that we are taking throughout the next year around the sun, the journey that we have been taking with each other, the path that leads us home, and the path that leads us back to each other. And so, yeah, this song kind of came through me when I couldn't remember another song, this one that I was going to share. But it really has that same intention of connecting each other and recognizing that, you know, our family becomes friends, and our friends become families. So it's such a beautiful, beautiful gift to be able to share this song. And so this is Journey. Sakito into my family. Sakito into my friends. Sakito into my journey until we meet again. Sakito into your family. Sakito into your friends. Sakito into your journey until we meet again. Oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, oh. Oh hey, oh hey, oh. Oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, oh. Hey, oh hey, oh. Sakito into our family. Sakito into our friends. Sakito into our journey until we meet again. Oh hey, oh hey, way, oh hey, oh. Oh hey, oh hey, oh. Oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, oh. Hey, oh hey, oh. Sakito into my family. Sakito into my friends. Sakito into my journey until we meet again. Oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, oh. Oh hey, oh hey, oh. Oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, oh. Oh hey, oh hey, oh. Until we meet again. As I'm dying. So, got one more really quick song to share with you as I'm working on it. This is the thank you song, and I'm trying to find more words to say thank you in other languages, and I will hopefully have more for next week because I'm going to be talking to a bunch of elders tomorrow and getting those words correct. And so, yeah, this is the thank you song that I've been working on. I'm very thankful to Nitsutapi School because I've been like working with it, with them through this song, and they really, oh my gosh, not only are they super adorable, but they love to try new things and sing in different ways, and they're like, oh, we like that better. They will tell you. They're so cute. I love the kids. And so, yeah, this is the thank you song. Also a heartbeat song because that's that thankful beat. Usually it's a call and response, so we'll see how it sounds. Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Marcy. Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Marcy. From me to you, from me to you, and you to me, and you to me. Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Marcy. Hey, oh, hey, yo. Hey, oh, hey, yo. Hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, oh, hey, yo. Hey, oh, hey, yo. Hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, oh, hey, oh. Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Mercy. Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Mercy. From me to you, and you to me, and you to me. Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Mercy. Way, oh, hey, yo. 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 Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Mercy, Mercy. Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Mercy. From me to you, and you to me, and you to me. Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Mercy. Hi, hi, Mugwitch, Mercy. Hey. Hi, everyone. Mugwitch, Marcy. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I wish you a very happy solstice. And for the next 2 weeks, I am taking a lead from the bear, and I'm going to be doing a whole lot of nothing, just spending some time with my family in my home, preparing for the seasons ahead. And so I will not be doing my live stream for the next 2 weeks. I wish everybody a beautiful holiday season. For those friends of mine who just started Hanukkah a couple of days ago, happy Hanukkah. For those beautiful beings who are celebrating Kwanzaa, hello my friends, happy Kwanzaa. For those who are celebrating other things, so Merry Christmas, happy Boxing Day for those who celebrate it, Joyeux Noël, but there's all sorts of beautiful things, and happy solstice, of course, to everyone. I'm just really thankful and humbled for the year that I've had, and I'm looking forward to another beautiful year. I will see you again in January if I don't see you beforehand. So Magwitch everyone, hi, and Marcy, thank you again to your beautiful journey, and I will see you, well, Happy New Year in the new year. Magwitch.